Hello everyone and welcome back to Monster Mania, part of the Jesse Hecht Creative Collection. Today we're going over the next level Frankenstein's monster with table, along with a top 10 of all the Universal monsters made by Jada Toys. Before we begin, make sure to click that like button and claw that subscribe button. Now let's get to it. Here is the box for the Jada Toys Universal Monsters Next Level Frankenstein with table. I really love this piece over here. Excuse the lighting around as well as my reflection. Universal Monsters over here, embossed in a shiny rainbow kind of silver, looking nice with Frankenstein in the center. Some warnings over here, a couple trademarks here and there. Using this method, we can easily tear away the shrink wrap to reveal the monsters in a much better light. They look really awesome, and I think the mummy's down here, so we'll see him later probably. The box is a much more matte black than we've seen before, and it looks even better, I think. Pulling this aside, we see a picture of the operating table as well as a picture of Frankenstein's monster right over here. Coming around to the side a little bit too, looking really neat. On the back, again, is more nothing, but opening the box, you can get this open at least, moving it, shifting it, shaking it, slowly moving out. The inside of the box is wonderful. Now let's take a look at Frankenstein's monster. This version of Frank looks awesome. I love the gray tone on him, and the eyes look really nice and sunken in with a sort of bluish kind of gray eye sockets in there. Really nicely done. The silver is well applied. The gray is very cool. I like how it looks. It's very monochrome and super neat. The proportions are the same. The sculpt is the same. Paint is different. That's the only thing. But everything is the same as the previous figure here. He also comes with the same accessories, alternate head, 2 alternate hands, and 2 different manacles that look and function the same essentially. I feel like the manacles have different chains on them, and it's just that these heads and hands had different paint for the monochrome look they were going for this figure and this set. But this figure is not what I got this set for. So similar to my previous live builds that I've done, I'm going to build this sort of live on this screen. So first what you do is take your main backboard, and you have the really long portion of the little strap on here. You have to thread it through, piece facing out, at least the clamp. So sort of just thread that through here, going all the way around, all the way through to the back, taking care to make sure you don't mess anything up. Like these wires over here, you want to move them up so they're out of the way, and pull this through so it's pretty taut and tight to the back. Secondary, you get these 2 smaller ones, and you have them, I believe, go outwards for this one and then outwards for that one. These are actual pretty legitimate sort of strap looking pieces that are really nice. Then you would have it on the back thread through. There we go. That is to secure his hands. You get your final piece facing outwards, going on this side all the way around and then through the back, moving that in this kind of way. Good. And with that, you have your straps. On the back, you would place your little wheel parts, clamp it to one side and clamp this to the other side. It's kind of difficult to work for these over here on this. So then you would get your bottom supports, and these wheels actually turn very nicely. You get your bottom supports for this. You would place them like so. There's a little notch on there. So you would have that slot in right here, and then on the other side right here for this. And then you backtrack to the other side and go here. And I guess for both, since it fell off, you could just do both at one time, here and then here, solidifying that bottom section. You would then place this, at least going inside that. You do have the short peg going on the inside of these right here, solidifying that, and then you put this in and you add your long peg, I believe. But placing the long peg in, this is really flimsy, like really flimsy. Getting this together is kind of a nightmare. It does come apart a lot on you, and it's very frustrating. Okay, I kind of just had to let it rest a little bit and relax. Shove that through the other side, push it all the way through, and it does have a nice rotational piece. So once you actually get it working, make sure to put in those bottom legs so they're all tight, and you have a rotational backboard for Frankenstein to lay on. It is a little bit squeaky, but that adds to the charm. Now let's get Frank on it. So standing Frankenstein on here works out really well. You just have to sort of slot everything in, pull it a little bit. There we go. For these, you don't have to go super tight on it. Just give it a little tug and it should be good. A little stretch is fine, just not too much. For the arms, you want to be careful with them. This is kind of tricky to get in here. It's a very rubbery piece, very unforgiving in a way. Having this move like such, sort of like jamming alignment in there. You may want to get a little more slack on this part to really get that manacle down. Going to want to really bunch up on you and just be a difficult piece. Once you get that in, you can get the other one in just fine. We have that piece on there, pretty sturdy. And last but not least, for the legs, it is pretty taut there, so you just put this in. The hands are the worst parts to get, and it already popped off on this side, so he's already struggling to break free. But once you kind of actually get it finally on and pull it, it should be okay. Going back to this, I really don't want this to break on me. I'm very worried. So there is your Frankenstein's monster all bundled up. He also comes with a cloth you can sort of cover him up in, so just put the cloth over him and then I guess clamp it to him. You may have to give it a little fold on both sides, but trying as best I can putting this together, and this is kind of a pain in a way, and you have a very comfy and cozy Frankenstein's monster. Now for the last bit, I'm going to take these little doohickeys over here. I think they're a little bit, this one's stripped a little bit for some reason. That's kind of a shame, but it does go around these little bolts in his neck. I think directing the electricity towards it. So you just fit one in, then you fit the other one in, and it looks pretty nice actually with him all bundled up, like ready to go to bed. You also can move this down like so and up like so, and it works really well in this state. Very nice piece. You can also take this and untuck it. There was a loss today. We couldn't get Frankenstein, all fixed up, so we're gonna try again with the next guy. One of the main reasons I got into Jada in the first place is because I saw this done. The Sergeant Slaughter actually being captured by Cobra and his DNA being forcibly extracted to make Serpentor. I saw this done on, I believe, Facebook or Instagram or some other site detailing this, and this looks awesome with having Sergeant Slaughter be captured by Cobra. Really nicely done, and even though you still can have a character on the table like this as a stand-in for what Serpentor would eventually become, I do like how I can do this and have Sergeant Slaughter really be captured by Cobra. Frankenstein's monster stands at about 6 3/4 inches tall, while the table itself stands at about 7.5 inches tall or so. With the table being flat, the height is about maybe 4 inches tall or so, reaching up to 5.5 inches tall to the base of the feet, and lengthwise from the tip of the little spire to the end is around 7.25 inches tall or so. As of now, I've reviewed every single figure in the Jada Toys line, so let's do a top 10. Stay tuned. Hello everyone, and thank you so much for watching so far. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. You can also click the bell icon for more creativity. Now let's get back to it. In last place at number 10 is the glow-in-the-dark creature, the Black Lagoon. I like the sculpt a lot, but the accessories are the same from the figure we've seen before, and the glow-in-the-dark effect doesn't really work as well as it should. It's a shame because with better application, this figure could be way higher. Number 9 is the regular Dracula. I do like the vest, and the regular head works fine, but the paint on the alternate head, as well as the hands in general, is not that great. The cape is also kind of awful, really weird and billowy in 3 separate parts, and doesn't work as well as a cape we'll be seeing in the future. Number 8 is the table itself. When put together, it's a really nice piece that looks awesome even with other action figure lines. Yet when putting it together, it's a horrible nightmare. A lot of pieces come off, a lot of things come apart. It's really terrible to really fit together and work. If it was better engineered, it'd be higher up on the list. Number 7 is the Wolfman. He has nice articulation and sculpt, yet he's a regular guy in clothing that just so happens to be furry. The accessories, for me at least, make no sense, and the alternate head and hands are way better than the ones he comes with. He's a nice figure, but just is lacking in several places. Number 6 is the colorized Frankenstein's monster. I do appreciate the texture and color on this figure. It looks really great. However, I feel like the classic black and white is much better for me. I do appreciate the head and hands that come with this as accessories, as well as the chains, yet all of those come with the other one, which is way better to me. Number 5 is the monochrome Frankenstein's monster. I really love how he looks. The gray really brings out the eyes, as well as that sort of shadowing underneath. The accessories are wonderful, and I love the alternate head and hands, but this fully reminds me of a classic monster from the olden times of film. Excellently done and wonderful with accessories. Number 4 is the Bela Lugosi Dracula. The wired cape is phenomenal, the extra hands are great, the accessories like the posters are really nice, and the presentation with that box is phenomenal. A top-notch figure looking really great, and I love this so much, especially that shiny slick-backed hair. Number 3 is the Bride of Frankenstein. Frankenstein. I love this figure so much. She is wonderful and basically perfect. My only complaints are those strange poles she comes with and the fact that she has a cloak covering all that amazing goodness as far as her sculpt goes. She really is a fantastic figure underneath it all and worthy of picking up. Number 2 is the creature from the Black Lagoon, an excellent figure looking beautiful as always with the amazing shading as well as the sculpt and paint on him looking fantastic, and the articulation is awesome as well. Right out the gate, I knew this line would be amazing and perfect, especially with this guy at the helm. Phenomenal. Number 1 is the Invisible Man. He's basically perfect in every way, looking awesome. That smoking jacket is wonderful. Those PJ pants are great. The accessories are incredible, using real life invisibility with an action figure medium. That's basically perfect. I really love this guy, and everything about him is just top notch. Perfection. Overall, these Universal monsters made by Jada Toys are scary and awesome. The next level Frankenstein's monster is really nicely done. I love how he looks with that monochrome, even better in some places than the original. I do love the table too, even if it's a big pain to put together, but it's well worth it at the end. As for the top 10, Jada has been firing on all cylinders right out the gate. The first wave is fantastic, the second wave is even better, and this next level figure is phenomenal. I really love how they all look, articulate, have accessories that match their characters, as well as scale well with each other. I also find that Jada has shown that new figures they make in the line are incredible, and the re-releases are much better, but concurrent releases aren't that great at all. For example, we have the glow-in-the-dark figure of the Creature Black Lagoon released with the original concurrently, and that one just isn't that great at all. But when you redo figures such as Frankenstein's monster and Dracula, you get way better figures than before. The wired cape I now want in the original, and the new Frankenstein comes with an amazing table as well as a monochrome design harkening back to the old black and white Universal films. The only figures I wouldn't want changed at all are the Invisible Man and the Bride of Frankenstein, as I think they are both basically perfect, and I feel like if the Wolfman was given ripped clothing and some better accessories, he'd be higher up on my list. I highly recommend getting the figures I love and waiting on new releases for the figures I don't. But make no mistake, if you think these are some awesome Universal monsters for your collection, you Jada believe it. So which one is your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching Jesse Hecht Creative. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. You can also visit us at jessehechtcreative.com for more reviews like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and do keep being creative. Stay tuned.